Good evening, and welcome to the 2023 School Committee Candidate Forum, sponsored by Lowell Votes and LTC. My name is Joanna Danis. I am a lifelong Lowell resident, a member of the Lowell Votes Coalition, and also your moderator for this evening. We have a packed schedule for you tonight, but before we begin, I want to talk a little bit about Lowell Votes and some of the work we have been up to on the ground. Lowell Votes is a nonpartisan grassroots coalition working to increase civic education, participation, and government accountability in the city of Lowell. We offer a series of civic education trainings, including CERT, an emerging candidate training program for those looking to run for office. We also produce and distribute educational materials about local democracy, civics, who is running, and the annual voter guide, and conduct targeted door knocking and phone banking to help increase voter turnout in neighborhoods where turnout has been historically low. This year, the coalition has been hard at work, collectively making over 4,500 calls to Lowell voters and knocking on over 13,000 doors across Lowell. Want to help get out the vote in Lowell? Sign up to canvass with us on our link tree at Lowell Votes or on our website at lowellvotes.org. Now let's get to the forum tonight. All questions asked in this forum were generated with resident input and part in an extensive effort to make voting easy, interactive, and fun. A note to the purpose of this forum is to provide a platform for residents to engage with their candidates on issues that are important to them in order to make an informed decision at the polls. This is not a debate. We ask that audience members joining in person be respectful. Clapping is welcome, but heckling will not be tolerated. With that, I'll pass it over to our candidates and open up the floor for candidate introductions and opening statements. Candidates will get 1 minute each, and we will start in alphabetical order. And we'll start with candidate Fred Bahu.
Good evening. My name's Fred Bahu, and I'm currently on the school committee of Greater Lowell Technical High School. And we turn away about 700 applications each year. We accept 1,300 applications, and we only accept 600 students. With that being the case, we're turning away several hundred annually, and that's sort of an issue. It's an issue to me. So I find it pretty important that we start vocational programming over in Lowell Public Schools and Lowell High School. I think vocational programming will get some students that have been denied to stay in school because they're doing something with their hands. And I believe by giving them that opportunity, they would go ahead and have the chance to graduate and grow. The graduation rate at Lowell Public is not as well, not even close to as well as Greater Lowell, but I think it's important that we start vocational programming. Thank you.
Excuse me, before we continue, can I see the microphone?
Hello.
If we hold the microphone here, that'll keep us from accidentally turning on or anything, or if we're turning off, any issues like that. Like that? Yes, yeah.
Hello. 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 My name is Dominic Lay, and I am serving on the Lowell School Committee on my third term now. So I want to thank everybody who has put trust in me and voted for me in the past and allowed me to serve on the committee. I did the best I could to help families, students, everybody to have a good educational experience. Want to thank Lowell Vote and LTC for putting this together. So I'm here today. Just want to express my gratitude, and also want to take the opportunity to ask you to give me to continue your support in November. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Connie Martin. I've been serving on the Lowell School Committee for quite a few years now. It has been one of the most difficult jobs I've ever had, but it's also been one of the most satisfying and one of the things I'm most proud of. Having the opportunity to be part of the decision-making for charting the course for our educational system here in the city of Lowell is of the absolute utmost importance for any kind of forward progress that our city's going to have. I've done my best to come to meetings prepared, to do my homework, talking to constituents, whether those are students, their families, or staff from throughout our district. I've always felt that getting that firsthand information is what makes decision-making the most effective, and my focus has always remained on ensuring that every educational dollar we spend in the city of Lowell has to be spent with great efficiency to make sure we get the biggest bang for our buck. Sorry about that.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stacy Thompson. I'd like to start off by thanking Lowell Votes and LTC for this opportunity to speak to the public again. Again, my name is Stacy Thompson. I'm running for re-election in District 1, which is the Upper Highlands and Pawtucketville. It's been 2 years, and I can't believe the time has come and gone that quickly. And 2 years ago, I asked you to entrust me with your students, with the community, because I really care about the community and I really care about the students. I was a teacher for 11 years, and having 11 years of experience in the classroom and then being able to be on the opposite side enacting change is really important to me. But in addition to that, I'm very proud that I was the first Black woman ever elected in the city of Lowell, the first woman of color ever elected in the city of Lowell. But I do carry the badge of honor of the achievements that I've been able to enact over the time that I've been in office as well. And I'm looking forward to being able to do that, to do that again. I'm asking for your support in re-election. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. For this round, we're going to move into the candidate question and answer round. So for this round, we have 3 questions, and candidates will each get 1 minute to answer, starting in alphabetical order. Now I will pass it on to our questioners to read out our first question. And we're going to start with Fred Bahu.
What do you believe are the primary responsibilities of a school committee member, and what do you hope to accomplish if elected?
Well, the primary responsibilities are budget, to go over the budget and make sure that we are using the budget, using the monies wisely so that we can educate all of our students and our children. Our second job is to do the policy. We have to create policy to go ahead and make sure that our school is run properly so that we can progress the programs as best as we can. And the last thing that we are to do is to elect a superintendent of schools. And superintendents, of course, is the leader, and the leader is how the overall school district operates. So it's important to hire a good superintendent.
For me, the primary responsibilities of the school committees includes holding yourself to the higher standard as the elected official. We have responsibilities, as Fred had just mentioned. So we don't want to do whatever that's put the city in jeopardy, and most important of all, we want to bring good education for the students, take care, make sure the students are safe, get education, family are safe, and family get education for their kids, and also we want to be the role model for the children. Kids growing up, they will see how you behave, how you act, and that's important. Thank you.
Well, I do think that, we've heard listed kind of the statutory responsibilities that the school committee members hold in terms of budget policy and managing the superintendent. But I do think that beyond that, certainly our most fundamental responsibility is ensuring that every student who's sitting at a desk in the Lowell Public Schools is getting the most rigorous and intense education that we possibly can give them. I think ultimately the fortunes of our city rise and fall based on the quality of education that happens in every classroom in our city. And the responsibility of the school committee is to ask questions, perhaps most importantly, ask difficult questions to ensure that, again, everything that's happening in this district is done with students' futures in mind. Thank you.
Being the last one is a little difficult because you're kind of already hearing what's being said. But what I will say is obviously, budgeting, superintendent oversight, things that that deal with policy. Those are important things. But I think what we also have to remember is that the reason why I joined the school committee was to ensure equity, which means that every student gets what they need. And I think that that's a really important thing. And if you lose sight on that, all the other things don't really mean much. So it's so important that we have that equity in every school, in every classroom, that all the students are getting what they need, but also to empower the young people. I think that to listen to our young people to see what they need and what they want is a telltale sign of a really good and a strong school committee member. And so I think that that's really what the job entails.
We're going to move on to our second question, and we're going to start with Dominic Lay.
How will you work with the city to ensure safe and accessible school facilities that are suitable for teaching and learning?
If you have followed the school committee meetings, you have seen that some schools, some buildings have molds, and that's not safe for the teachers and students. The city have responsibilities as the landlord of the building. We as schools we are the tenant of the buildings. So we should be working with the city each time we know that something's not right. We ought to notify the city right away and find a way to fix it as soon as we can in order to provide the good learning environment.
Maintaining our buildings, ensuring their safety for staff and for students is certainly a huge priority for every member of the school committee. Again, we are tenants. The city is responsible for those buildings, but I think that this committee has taken it upon itself, particularly during this period of time where ESSER funding has been kind of a huge boon for the district, that we've recognized that this is kind of a one-time opportunity for the schools to have those kinds of funds to put towards these investments. This committee has moved forward to bring additional modular classrooms to the Rogers STEM. We've taken other actions across the district to make those investments. And during our recent budget conversations, we talked about being sure that we're kind of tracking our ESSER funding literally on a month-by-month basis, so that by the end of this year, to successfully spend it all out, we will have the opportunity to make additional capital investments.
I think that in order to really work with the city, you have to have planning. And there's been a lot of talk for a long time, and I think that has its place, but we're in a point of action, and we have taken a series of actions. To Ms. Martin's point, we have built the modulars, and we've looked at other improvements. But for me, I think one thing that seems really simplistic but has not happened is having a monthly check-in where there's information about all the things that are ongoing in the city, all the things that need to be done, and all the things that maybe we've even purchased materials for, so that every single month that's updated, everybody on the city side, the school side can see that information, and then we can make decisions moving forward on that. And that's not happening yet. And I think that we do have the opportunity. We have somebody new in the position on the city side that can really move this initiative forward, and that is what I would think really would add to this. Thank you.
At Greater Lowell Tech, we have a director of facilities. And I would think that that's important to have, a director of facilities that can work with the school system as well as with the city, because it's the city, they are the city's buildings, and the school has to go ahead and have those buildings upgraded and upkept to a place that is safe as well as conducive to learning. At Greater Lowell Tech, when we did a $65 million building project, I attended, we had project manager meetings monthly, to Stacy's point. And monthly meetings with the project managers are extremely important because we can oversee the building of our new high school. It's important that we develop a monthly meeting schedule so that we can identify with what the building's facilities are looking like daily.
So we're going to move into our last question for this round, and we're going to start with Connie Martin.
Though Lowell has one of the most diverse student bodies in Massachusetts, state data shows 90% of full-time teachers in the Lowell public schools are white as of the 2021-2022 school year. Black, Asian, and Hispanic instructors make up just 4%, 1%, 4%, and 5% respectively. What is your plan to recruit and attract more diverse staff throughout the school system?
Well, I think this is obviously something that has been discussed at great length by this committee and working with the administration, and I think it's very clearly recognized as a challenge that we need to take very seriously. I think some of the actions we've taken in terms of recruiting at some of the southern-based colleges and universities have brought some additional diversity into our teaching staff. I've always felt that one of the best ways to grow that staff is to do it internally. We have a cadre of paraprofessionals who work throughout the district, and they really do represent a broad swath of different backgrounds, and they are very familiar with our students, with our city, and making the investment to take them through teacher training, taking them through getting bachelors, getting their MTELs, getting their licenses. I think it's the best way to be able to build that cadre of professionals. Thank you.
This question is really important for me. It's one of the ones that I, when walking in, knew there was an issue. A lot of parents and students have spoken to me specifically about wanting staff that looks like them, wanting to have that experience. We have done recruiting in HBCUs, which are the historically black colleges and universities. We've done that. We've done, expansive offerings in different backgrounds, in organizations of different backgrounds so that we were getting kind of a full breadth of that. But I think also in addition to that is we really need to look at our HR professionals and make sure that they have the tools that they need. We sometimes kind of skip over that portion, and I think we need to look at who we have in HR. Do they have the tools and skills that they need? In addition to that, upskilling our paraprofessionals, because we do have fantastic paras, and how can we move them forward? And then last but not least is really looking at our young people, looking at our students that would like to become teachers and then helping them along that pipeline, which we are doing.
I think it's important that the Lowell public develops a recruiting process. Now this would more than likely be done through attrition and through retirement. So as teachers begin to retire and leave, it's important that we are raising students that actually go to Lowell High School to become teachers. So we could start the recruiting process right in the classrooms and identify what students would like to go ahead and do with their careers as they move on. I think that would go ahead and satisfy quite the cultural issue. I think that it's important that we do use the paraprofessionals. At Greater Lowell Tech, a lot of our paraprofessionals become school teachers, so we have professional development chances for them to go ahead and better their education, and we help fund their education. So the paraprofessionals is a great idea, and it's something that works very well at Greater Lowell Tech.
Since I got elected to the school committee, having a diverse staff was one of my goals, and it is very difficult. So I tried possibly whatever I could, trying to recruit, talk to people, how to bring people from either Asian background or Hispanic background, black, to work in the school system. It is very difficult and it is challenging. And the more I talk about it, I think that it's not it's not, some people think that not enough people are interested, but I think the culprit of that is not enough people interested. I think MTEL. MTEL is the one that prevented the, the people of minority background from passing the test and become a teacher.
Thank you, candidates. We're now going to move into our speed round. Our speed round consists of two sections, the yes or no section and the knowledge section. For the yes or no section, I will ask a series of yes or no questions, which all the candidates will answer using our yes or no signs. Candidates are not allowed to elaborate further and can only respond using the yes or no signs.
Mental health support is consistently listed as a top priority in community needs assessments. Okay. Mental health support is consistently listed as a top priority in community needs assessments. Would you support increased funding for mental health services in our public schools?
Next question. Would you support a community input process in the hiring of a permanent superintendent?
In recent years, several cities in Massachusetts, including Worcester and Somerville, have chosen to remove school resource officers from public school buildings. Do you support school resource officers in schools?
The Thrive Act, a bill currently making its way through the Massachusetts House, would remove passing the state standardized test, MCAS, as a graduation requirement. Do you believe MCAS should be a requirement for graduation?
All right, thank you. That concludes our speed round. So we're going to go into our knowledge round. For the second and final section of our speed round, the candidates will put their knowledge of Lowell to the test by answering a series of questions about the demographics and people of Lowell. All candidates will answer every question by writing down their answers on their whiteboard. Candidates will have 30 seconds to respond and hold up their whiteboard before I read out the correct answer. Do you want me to repeat it? Yeah, I'll repeat one more time. For the second and final section of our speed round, the candidates will put their knowledge of Lowell to the test by answering a series of questions. Yep, about the demographics and people of Lowell. All candidates will answer every question by writing down the answers on their whiteboard. Candidates will have 30 seconds to respond and hold up their whiteboard before I read out the correct answer. Yes. Yes.
What percentage of students in LPS are multilingual learners?
We have 85, 60, and 65. The correct answer is 29%.
There should be napkins. According to the 2022 Lowell Community Food Assessment, what percentage of Lowell residents walk to get their groceries?
All right, we have 12%, we have 10%, we have 25%, and we have 32%. The correct answer is 30%.
According to Lowell Public Schools, how many languages are spoken in Lowell schools?
We have 24, we have 71, we have 73, and we have 70. The correct answer is 72.
According to the 2022 Greater Lowell Community Health Needs Assessment, what are the top 3 reported health needs? Social determinant health needs.
Right. Well, we have mental. I think that's health. I'm not sure. Medication and transportation. I have housing, transportation, and mental health. I have language access, food and transportation, and I have psychological and family growth. The correct answers are affordable, safe housing, access to healthy food, and access to mental health services.
What percentage of voters aged 18 to 24 voted in the 2021 municipal election?
So I have 6%, 2%, 10%, and 5%. Is that correct? The correct answer is 2.9%. Round of applause. Good job. All right, we are going to start our second round of candidate question and answers. For this round, we have 3 questions, and candidates will each get 1 minute to answer, starting in alphabetical order. I'll now pass it on to our questioners to read out the first question. And I believe we're starting with Dominic. Connie? Stacy, thank you.
According to Lowell Public Schools' latest McKinney-Vento report, 1 in 10 students are experiencing houselessness in Lowell. How do we ensure every student gets the same educational opportunities regardless of housing status?
This is an excellent question. I've actually asked for disaggregated data surrounding our McKinney-Vento students. In full transparency, I would have been what would be considered a McKinney-Vento when I was in high school myself. So I think what it is making sure that these students understand their rights, understand how they can move forward. When you're experiencing houselessness or homelessness or housing insecurity, however you would like to put it, you really are not thinking about your schooling. You're thinking about the basic things that you need to do to survive. So making sure that people feel supported, these young people feel supported and they understand how to move forward, but also really wrapping them around services that are able to help them move forward. So for me, it's making sure they know what they have or what they can do, getting the information. I know that transportation is obviously a huge consideration, but really, letting them understand that there are housing options, there are supports that are out there, whether it's a CTI or Lowell Community Health Center. Thank you.
We need to offer our students full support and understanding what their needs are. And that would come with the guidance office, and that would come with their teachers. It's important that we make them feel comfortable and they are peaceful at school. Some things that we could offer, which I know is not being offered, would be maybe some laundry facilities, because realistically, if you don't have a home, then you may not have clean clothes. So would it be possible to give them a laundry card and let them, have their laundry taken care of in the building, where they don't feel like they're in a lesser situation with others than other students? It's probably important that they feel comfortable in their self and in their clothes.
I think being a student and homeless at the same time put you at the disadvantage right away. Doesn't matter how much we try to give, how much we try to help, you will always be at the disadvantage. But being a homeless also means that food and clothing and transportation will be the problem, will always be the problem. Therefore, I believe that make sure that we don't take those 3 things away from the students, especially the transportation, food, because those things are necessary for the students to learn.
I do think that we all recognize that for our students and families who are faced with homelessness, it is a profound crisis for any family facing that situation. McKinney-Vento certainly requires us to ensure that transportation needs are met, but I think in the Lowell Public Schools, our McKinney-Vento staff have been really adept at ensuring that they're making connections for students. I just by way of my day job, I know that the McKinney-Vento professionals are very well connected with organizations like Community Teamwork, like the Lowell Community Health Center, like Katie's Closet, and they do a really exceptional job of ensuring that not only are they helping those students get what they need so that they can be comfortable and successful ultimately, but they're really looking at the full family, which is ultimately what will bring those students to success.
Going to move on to our second question, and I believe we're going to start with Fred.
What will you do to ensure that the public school curriculum meets the needs of our diverse student body?
Well, I'm running on that platform. I think it's important that we have a Latin Lyceum and an advanced placement program as well as college placement programs in Lowell Public Schools. But I also think that it's important that we offer vocational programs. A lot of our students, again, would like to work with their hands, and if we can give them that opportunity, they don't have to feel like maybe the academia is not exactly what they're looking for and possibly even drop out. I think it's vital that we give students a broad spectrum of education, and that would be, because let's be real, there's 30,000 applications for vocational schools in the state of Massachusetts annually, and only 15,000 students are being accepted. So this is something that we should offer, because this needs to be from the top down and the bottom up, and everybody has a full opportunity.
That's a tough question. I think Mr. Bahu is correct that hands-on education is necessary for students, but also for the curriculum that we have right now for diverse students here. History, teaching them correct history is important. Teaching them the culture is important. So I think that if we strengthen the history department to teach everything that's correct, teaching everything to our students is important. So we should also not to like I said, not to disregard the culture part. Thank you.
I think ensuring that we have a broad range of materials that our students have access to is critically important, especially when you recognize the diversity within the Lowell Public Schools. Investments have been made in kind of some of the, I'd say, low-hanging fruit. You know, we made major investments in our leveled libraries, ensuring that there were authors and topics and kind of the different kind of areas that were in the more, I don't want to say fun, maybe not be the best word, but the real engaging reading that we're trying to get our students to do, ensuring that they have a range of options that really do represent their background, their cultures. And I think we've also made similar moves in terms of investments in math, our math curriculum, to ensure that all of our math curriculum includes a great deal of manipulatives and project-based work, which allows students with different strengths to be able to get the most out of the curriculum.
I think that by acknowledging that just because we've done it for a long time doesn't mean that we need to continue to do it the same way. And I think that there have been moves to enact that. I'm very proud that I was able to get a financial wellness program in the district. I think that that's an important step in, you know, shifting the curriculum and making sure that there's a change that needed to happen within the schools. But I also think it's really important to do things, to Mr. Lay's point, to make sure that the history that we're having our young people learn is full and complete history. And so we've really kind of honed in on that, and we've gotten a lot of books that really speak to the different cultures, whether that be in ELA classes or in history classes, which is really important. We've also made sure that we're considering language and how language is a part of culture and how that needs to be included in what we're doing. But we've also made strides in our pre-K program. So I think really investing in that, and the youngest of our citizens has been really paramount.
Going to move on to our third question, and we're going to start with Dominic Lay.
Earlier this year, former Chief of Schools Liam Skinner was voted in as interim superintendent of Lowell Public Schools. What are your top considerations when hiring a superintendent?
For me, a superintendent is someone that I feel who can put together the program, who can put the staff together, hold everybody accountable, and also make everybody enjoy coming to school to teach, to work, to learn. So So recently, we voted to have Liam Skinner as a interim superintendent, and I feel that he has done a pretty good job. And so, you know, I feel that he so far has shown to be the good candidate. Thank you.
I've had the good fortune to work with a number of different superintendents over my time on the school committee. Each one has taught me different things, and I'm grateful to all of them for the time they've taken to help me learn to be a better school committee member. Ultimately, what I will always look at in terms of the qualities I'm looking for in a superintendent, I want someone who is absolutely committed to high quality curriculum, someone who recognizes the importance of the front of classroom staff investing in the classroom, ensuring that our teachers have what they need and that we are constantly providing them with updated curriculum, professional development opportunities, and then finally someone who really recognizes that they serve at the will of this community and that having a real relationship with parents and families and students needs to be what drives really all of their decision making.
For me, in this particular decision making, and it's obviously different depending on what district, but in Lowell, there was an extreme need for somebody that had experience in leading a district, somebody who had experience in leading executives, somebody who had an HR background, because obviously we have a lot of hiring needs within the district, someone who puts a priority in diversity, equity, and inclusion and lives that, embodies that. For me, it's also really important that that person is a part of the community. So by that I mean is out in the community, enjoying events, is seen, is accessible, is visible to the community. And then I would say the last thing for me, and these are not in order by the way, but the last thing would be curriculum and the importance of making sure the curriculum is rich, is full, kind of taking those challenging moves that may not always be popular but are necessary to make sure that we're getting as many kids graduated and successful throughout the system.
Well, firstly, and I heard a number of panelists say this, is we need a true leader. We need a person that knows how to lead not only staff and curriculum, but knows how to go ahead and have budget experience, because Lowell has a $290 million school budget. And if you're going to be leading that district, you need to be able to spend that money wisely. We need a person that basically lives in the area and understands our demographics. Over at Greater Lowell Tech, we have a superintendent there who shops at the local supermarkets, who's lived in Lowell for over 20 years. We have somebody that understands and knows the people within the community and will have conversations with them when they're in the market or wherever they are throughout the city. We have to have a superintendent that knows a plan on how to increase our education like MCAS, so that kids can be educated from the youngest grades moving forward.
Thank you, candidates. We're going to start with our closing statements. Candidates each receive 1 minute for their closing statements, starting in alphabetical order of their last names, and I believe we'll start with Connie Martin.
Okay, well, thank you all. I'd like to thank our organizers tonight for bringing us together. This has been a fairly quiet campaign, so having the opportunity to be able to answer questions and be able to communicate directly with voters is of huge value, so thank you. Thank you to our translators tonight, and thank you to everyone who came out to listen. I'll simply say, again, having served on the committee for many years, I remain today just as ambitious for our district, just as committed to asking difficult questions, and I recognize today, as I did the first day when I started on the committee, that there's no other job here in the city of Lowell that can have a greater impact than ensuring that our educational system is serving our students and serving them well.
I'd like to start out by thanking everyone who was a part of keeping and having this event or holding space for this event tonight. Again, my name is Stacy Thompson. I'm running for re-election in District 1. I am the only candidate that is running for re-election on the school committee side, and I'm doing so because the same reason why I started is the same reason why I'm asking for you to support me in continuing my journey. I believe in educational excellence, empowerment, and equity. I have done a lot of great work, and I want to see it through. I've been able to enact a dashboard transparency program for all of our students that have been bullied and all of our students that have faced issues with racism and discrimination in the district. I've been able to get, as I said, the financial wellness program off and running, and I know from speaking to my counterparts that they've said we've been trying to do that for the longest time, so I'm really, really proud of that. But again, I need your support. I need for not just to be the first Black woman in office, but to be the first woman that gets to continue doing this great work. So thank you so much.
I'm running for a seat on the Lowell School Committee because I feel that the needs of the district in Lowell are need assistance, from MCAS scores at the lowest levels and making sure that kids can grow when they take an MCAS score of math or English, that they fully comprehend what they're learning. So we're preparing a kid to move forward from the 3rd grade to the 4th grade. So we have to look at the youngest students. It's important that people keep an eye on what's happening with the building, and we need a building committee that's going to get our buildings up and running, and we want to make people want to move to the city of Lowell. And if you want to move to Lowell, it means that your education is strong. So we need schools that are going to graduate more students, and we need to offer the best programming. My name's Fred Bahu, and I ask you for your vote on November 7th. Thank you.
My name is Dominic Lay, and I am running for re-election, representing the Acre and the Lower Highland. So I want to, again, express my thanks to LTC and Lowell Vote and everybody here that spent time with us. Thank you, everybody at home, for spending time with us. So I just want to thank you for your support for the last 3 elections, and I am here to ask for your continued support and ask for your vote on November 7th. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. That concludes our programming. Thank you to everyone who came out tonight to join us in person and to those who are joining us virtually. I also want to thank all the candidates for showing up tonight, the Lowell Telemedia Center, and our partners for their support in helping put this event together. Election Day is Tuesday, November 7th. Early voting will take place October 25th to November 3rd in the Mayor's Reception Room on the 2nd floor of Lowell City Hall. For information on how to vote by mail, you can visit the Lowell Votes website at lowellvotes.org. You can check your polling location at the Secretary of State's website at Where Do I Vote, MA. This is the 3rd forum in our Candidate Forum series. Our next forum is on October 26th at 6:30 with City Council candidates from Districts 1, 2, 4, and 5. You can join us in person at LTC or on local access on channel 8 and 26. You can also find a recording of this forum, as well as a recording of our previous City Council at-large forum and City Council Districts 3, 6, and 7 forum on LTC's YouTube at LTC Lowell MA. Thank you again for joining us, and have a great evening.